Why did Jimin suddenly cry on the live broadcast? Jungkook's shocking secret during his military service is finally revealed, and everyone can't believe it. Click, watch, comment, like, and subscribe to join the discussions that are shaking up the army world today. Why didn't you ever tell me about this? Jimin's voice trembled, his eyes began to turn red, and the thousands of spectators who watched the live broadcast could only be transfixed. Jungkook, who wasn't even in the room, suddenly became the most searched name in the world in a matter of minutes. But what exactly was the secret that was so shocking that it made Jimin, who was usually always calm, suddenly burst into tears uncontrollably? Is this just part of the promotion? Is this a coincidence captured on camera? Or is there a wound that Jungkook has been hiding from everyone, including those closest to him? And why is all this happening in the middle of a live broadcast that should only discuss their comeback? What happens before the tears fall? Let's unpack one truth at a time. The entire BTS fandom is torn apart, and perhaps it will never be the same again. For more than a year, the world watched Jungkook's departure into the military world with a heavy heart. He is not only a world-class idol, but also a figure who is so loved, especially by Jimin, his best friend and comrade in arms in BTS. However, no one expected that when Jungkook left, he left behind more than just memories. He left behind secrets. And the secret, in a very unexpected way, exploded right during the live broadcast of the group. When the topic of conscription was accidentally discussed by the MC, initially the live broadcast went on as usual. Jimin, RM, and Taehyung are answering fan questions. They laugh, reminisce about funny moments, talk about their latest music, and discuss how each member is adjusting to the draft. But everything changes when one question from the audience appears on the screen. What's the most surprising thing you know about Jungkook during his time in the military? Jimin initially laughed a little. If I did, yes, he said he likes coffee early in the morning and started to like reading books. But then, one of the crew gives Jimin a letter. This is from someone who said he had information about Jungkook, the MC said with a curious smile. Jimin read it, and the next second the world fell silent. Jimin's face changed drastically. His eyes were fixed on the letter. He repeated reading it once more. Even the third time, his hands were shaking. RM tries to look at the contents, but Jimin reflexively pulls him away. And then, he said in a low but sharp voice, "When are you going to tell me about this, Jungkook?" The live audience applauded. Comments flooded the screen, tens of thousands in 1 second. What is it? Why is Jimin crying? Did Jungkook do anything during the draft? Then Jimin stood up. His tears began to break. He grabbed the microphone and said, "I don't care if everyone knows now, but I care because you chose to hide this from me." And since then, not a single staff member has managed to calm the atmosphere. The whole world is speculating. Netizens dug up all the information that had ever been released about Jungkook during his military service. But nothing suspicious. No scandal. No offense. Then what's in the letter? Up to an hour after the live broadcast ended, a mysterious account leaked the contents of the same letter to the Army's online community. "I met Jungkook almost every night during his service. But not because we're dating. I'm a military counselor. And Jungkook never told anyone that he asked for an extra session because... The sentence was truncated, but enough to make an entire community smolder. Military counselor? Additional sessions? For what? They say Jungkook always smiles in military photos. But now people wonder, is the smile just a mask? And if so, why didn't Jimin know? To this day, one biggest question still haunts millions. What is Jungkook hiding? And why didn't he share that burden with Jimin? The man who always stood up for him even in their toughest times. Speculation began to emerge. Some say Jungkook experienced severe mental stress during training. Some believe he may have had an accident that was covered up. There were even rumors that he wrote a will, something that has not been confirmed to this day. A few days after the live broadcast incident, Jimin made a tearful upload on Weverse. "I never asked you to be perfect, Kook, but I ask you not to be alone." It made millions of fans cry, and made more speculations about the possibility that Jungkook might be harboring dark thoughts during his enlistment. HYB Entertainment has yet to provide any clarification. Even until this article was written, there was no press conference, no follow-up broadcast, no official statement from Jungkook, and that just makes things even hotter. Several former soldiers who had been in a battalion with Jungkook leaked that the idol had disappeared from his dorm for 2 days. But the case was never made public. Even some colleagues said, "he looks very good, very caring, but his eyes are always empty." Another said, "Jungkook once said he didn't know who he was if he wasn't a member of BTS." And that statement is now the subject of the biggest discussion among fans and media psychologists. Is Jungkook experiencing an identity crisis when he's not performing as an idol? And if so, has he ever tried something extreme in search of the answer? One source from within the label, who requested anonymity, said that the letter Jimin received on the live broadcast was not fabricated and was not part of any promotion. In fact, the letter was sent by someone who had been trying to contact HYB since last month, but received no response. Jimin doesn't know. That's not a setting. She was completely shocked and her emotions broke because she felt excluded by the person she trusted the most. The source said, "One statement from his own mouth can answer all." But the days went by, and there was no sound. There is not even activity on social media. No new uploads. There is no like, no comment, and that makes one conclusion start to emerge. Anything is possible. He's not ready to talk? Or maybe he feels, isn't it worth it anymore? Whatever the truth, one thing is certain: the live broadcast that was supposed to be a place of laughter and nostalgia has turned into the most emotional and mysterious night in BTS history, and until the secret is truly revealed by Jungkook himself, Jimin's tears will continue to be a question hanging in the air. Why should I know this? From someone else? But things got even more out of control when netizens discovered a short video snippet from Jungkook's military training session, which was never released publicly, but somehow leaked to a closed-off fan community. The video is only 18 seconds long, but enough to set the K-pop world on fire. In the video, a senior officer is seen speaking in a high-pitched tone to Jungkook. But what made everything shake was the faint voice of Jungkook recorded at the end. "If it wasn't for Jimin, I might have." The sentence hung, unfinished, and the audio suddenly interrupted. Yet it is clear enough to invite increasingly wild translations, speculations, and interpretations. What does that phrase mean? What did Jungkook almost do? Why does he carry the name Jimin in such a context? As soon as the video went viral, various analysis accounts sprang up. Some called the sentence a failed suicide signal. Others considered it a form of tremendous internal pressure that Jungkook experienced in the army, and Jimin was probably the only person who prevented him from completely collapsing. But that's exactly the big question. Other speculations have focused on a deeper and far more egregious reason that perhaps Jimin was subconsciously involved in Jungkook's psychological distress. A controversial comment from their former choreographer appeared in an anonymous podcast interview, hinting that something broke between them before Jungkook enlisted, something that will not be able to cure completely. The public suspected that it was related to old rumors about a major conflict between Jimin and Jungkook that had surfaced in 2023, but was soon covered up by the agency. At that time, it was just considered an ordinary quarrel. But now, with Jimin's tears and Jungkook's silence, speculation turns to accusations. Did Jungkook sign up sooner to avoid Jimin? It doesn't stop there. One of the former Big Hit trainees who is now active on TikTok shared a video about how the old issue between the two BTS members has actually happened since the beginning of the trainee's time. Jimin was once said to be too emotionally dominant towards Jungkook, and Jungkook began to show signs of withdrawal as the pressure continued as their popularity exploded. The video went viral. His name is mentioned in all K-pop forums, even outside the ARMY community. Comments go from sympathetic to accusatory. If Jungkook is traumatized by Jimin, it's only natural that he stays quiet, one user wrote. But why is Jimin crying in public? Isn't that a form of guilt? HYB did not remain silent. But instead of defusing the situation, their statement reaped even more confusion. They said that the relationship between the members remains good and everything that happened was just a misunderstanding due to personal information that should not have been spread. Netizens are not stupid. If this is just a misunderstanding, why is Jimin crying with tears? Why didn't Jungkook show up today to say, "I'm fine"? Is it possible? Is there something bigger they're hiding? The most shocking and provocative rumors came from longtime fans who claimed to have access to BTS's closed group chats before the break. They mentioned that during his pre-conscription days, Jungkook once publicly wrote to the group, "I want to leave, not just from this industry, but from everything." The message, despite its unproven authenticity, spread like wildfire. Not a few who claim it is true. Even some former staff wrote ambiguous comments on social media that seemed to confirm that Jungkook was indeed on the verge of mental collapse at that time. Meanwhile, the usually more neutral international community began to point out that this was a form of emotional exploitation that the industry was doing to its idols. There is a grand narrative developing that HYB knew of Jungkook's condition but chose to remain silent for the sake of preserving the image. It was even mentioned that the military counselor mentioned in the first letter was not a stranger but rather someone paid by HYB to dampen Jungkook's mental disorder from leaking to the public. If this is true, then it is no longer about Jimin's tears. It is about the tacit conspiracy of a large corporation against the mental health of the artist himself. And if that's true, then the public isn't just waiting for Jungkook to speak, but it also demands HYB to take responsibility. But will we get an answer? Or as usual, everything will be silenced and forgotten? One thing is certain, as long as Jungkook remains silent and Jimin still can't explain his tears, the world will keep asking. 2 days after the live broadcast became a global trend, Jimin's official account still hasn't displayed any new activity. However, fans noticed something much more striking. Almost all of Jimin's old posts related to Jungkook, especially photos of the two of them showing emotional intimacy, have been secretly deleted. Without explanation. Without explanation. Without apology. In the fandom community, it's not trivial. That's a statement. Louder than a sentence. Worse than rumors. Is that a form of anger? Or it is the highest form of protection, because at the same time, leaks emerged from an anonymous account claiming to be Jungkook's former personal staff while undergoing intensive training as part of a special military unit. The account said that it was not only psychological pressure that Jungkook faced, but also internal conflicts with fellow BTS members that the company was hiding to maintain the image of brotherhood. The statement ignited an even greater fire of opinion. According to the information, Jungkook had experienced mental blackout. After receiving a letter from someone who was said to be a female public figure he had been associated with in the past. The letter, according to the staff, contained an ultimatum alleging that Jungkook had never publicly acknowledged their relationship and that he hid behind Jimin whenever there were personal issues. More than that, the letter also claims that Jimin knows everything, but keeps quiet for fear of ruining both of their careers. If this is true, then Jimin's tears in the live broadcast were not because he did not know, but because he covered himself for too long. The speculation was further reinforced when netizens dissected one of last year's radio interviews, in which Jungkook indirectly mentioned that, "Sometimes I wish I wasn't Jungkook from BTS, just so I can speak honestly, without hurting anyone." At that time, the phrase sounded philosophical. Now, that sounds like a pent-up cry from a man caught between a public identity and a personal burden he never asked for. Meanwhile, a much darker issue emerged, that during his military service, Jungkook had to undergo a full 72-hour mental evaluation for his perceived self-harm. According to unofficial medical records, Jungkook refused to eat and talk for 3 days. It was even mentioned that the only name he uttered when he finally replied was Jimin. But what made things sharper was the leak of an 11-second voice note uploaded on a secret forum that night. Jungkook's voice was quiet, broken, and breathless. "I knew that if I spoke, everything would fall apart. But if I shut up, I destroyed myself." The audio instantly spread on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, being viewed millions of times in an hour. Fan reaction? Split up. Some embraced Jungkook's narrative as a victim of the system and public pressure, while others asked, if that's too much, why don't you talk to Jimin first? Why should you make the person you call savior cry in front of the world? Not a few also began to suspect the existence of engineering from management. That the mysterious letter was deliberately inserted into the live broadcast by internal parties to bring up a new narrative, in order to close a much more dangerous issue that developed within the agency. The issue, according to sources in the industry, is related to a post-registration contract conflict between Jungkook and HYBE. It was mentioned that Jungkook was considering *** leaving the label ***, and had turned down a tacit contract extension. And according to some insiders, Jimin knew about the plan long before, but refused to follow it. Is this the real reason they stay away? Are Jimin's tears